Selfie with Aura
Hi
Screen
everyone.
Light on Vivo
Hope everyone's
V90.
doing well.
Perfect shot, perfect
So
movement.
nice to be talking to all of you again. And this week I am extremely excited because we have one of my favorite people who are going to be joining us. I'm going to get her on and then I'm going to do an introduction. She's going to be joining us in just a minute. Hi, Shaheen, how are you?
Hi, Kat. How are you?
That worked well. I'm so proud of myself. Every time we've been doing this, it's been taking so long to get someone on. So now I'm learning. So everyone, I'm going to do a quick introduction of Shaheen. So Shaheen is the author of an incredible book, I've Never Been Unhappier. This is an extremely important book, which we're going to talk about in a bit. But first of all, I just want to welcome you all to Self-Care with K Beauty, which is what we're all doing here today. And we're going to be talking to Shaheen a bit about her book club, which she's also just started, called the Shiny Happy Book Club, which I absolutely love the name of. And it's so cute. I went on the page a few days back and I was looking at the whole page. So Shaheen, welcome and thanks for being with us today. Thanks for coming and joining us. And we would just love to know a little bit about the book club and if you could just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so basically, so I started a page called Here Comes the Sun last year in October. And Shiny Happy Book Club is sort of a collaboration between Here Comes the Sun and another page called Books on Toast. And it's basically, the reason that we did it was because we realized collectively, at least for me, you know, reading has had such a massive impact on my mental health. It's played such a huge part in my journey. It's one of the things, it's my massive coping mechanism. I started reading Harry Potter when I was 11 and it became like a massive way that I dealt with all the stuff that was going on with me. And so we realized what a difference it actually makes to your mental health. And so we decided to start a book club that basically, it just marries the idea of reading and mental health. So the idea is that we get a curator on board every month who recommends like a non-fiction book and one fiction book, anything that basically helps you with your mental health. So this month we have Rohan Joshi, who is our curator, and he's recommended some great books.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's too much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be really interested to know if we just if we can kind of explain to everyone about how you feel in your experience with how books have kind of helped you and what you feel about books kind of in this time. You know, I think I know I've kind of heard you discuss it before, and I think a lot of us feel the same way, that this lockdown is a little bit like a pause. It's a pause from the regular rhythm, whatever that rhythm is, for different rhythms for different people. And instead of looking at it as something bad or something, you know, has happened, we can see it as an opportunity and also take that as a way that will allow us to focus on things that we don't normally focus on, or that we don't get time to focus on. I know that you've also spoken a lot, as you just said, about how reading has helped you a lot at different points in your life and different times in your life. Before we get to that, though, I would love if you could just share a little bit with us and with everyone who's joining us today about your book, Never Been Unhappier. I know when I first read this book, it was a while back now, but when I first read the first few chapters, it really kind of hit me. In fact, I kind of had to take breaks and kind of, you know, process it, because there's some really, really important things that you said in the book. And I think right now, more than it's always relevant, but especially right now, I think there's some really relevant things that you address in the book.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, we've talked about this. It's, I think now more than ever, even people who've never experienced anxiety or depression are probably going through it for the first time, because we're in a very weird and unprecedented situation. Nothing like this has ever happened before. So it's only natural that people are going to be going through that, you know, phase of uncertainty. For me, my book is basically about my entire journey with depression. I started like experiencing depression when I was 12. Which has now been pretty much my entire adult life that, you know, I've sort of dealt with depression. And my book just basically goes through what my experience and my understanding of living with depression for that long is. So I try to talk about as much personal experience as I can. I've got my diary scans in there because for me, that's like, it's an easy way to sort of show rather than actually just tell. It's for me, like showing you actually bits and pieces of like when I was going through an episode, what I was thinking and how I was feeling
At that time.
Yeah, at that time. And I think my, the crux of my book is basically, acceptance. It's one of the reasons that I've been able to sort of deal with what I have going on is the fact that I've accepted it. I've learned that it's a part of my life. I don't know if it's going to go away completely. It's